Yep, so here's the dealio now. I actually use these bone shields to reinforce my wrists when I'm lifting weights. And I repaired them, but I can't even use them right now because these hands are sore. In fact, oh, well, it's not so bad. I wore gloves. These hands are actually sore from, what would I call it? Demolition work. Yeah, I did some demolition, some serious demolition work. Um, Not bad though. I Back in the day I used to get worse corns than this, but I was swinging a sledgehammer for hours on end. In fact, my my arms are like, in fact, even even if like you have like right there, and then even here, which is normally covered, has been tanned. Like this part of my hand gets burnt all the time because if you wear t-shirts, naturally this part gets burnt, and then that's a natural color. And I'm darker than normal because you have that, and then maybe somewhere there would be my, not my natural color but my normal color. But here is much darker. I don't think the light captures it right, but here's, I think maybe my skin is recovering a bit, but it's much darker because I was in the sun swinging a sledgehammer, man. And I want to go lift some weights right now, but right here is sore as hell. My fingers are still a bit fatigued. My wrist is alright. Well, my wrist did get a bit of shock because I didn't have on proper gloves. I had on like very thin gloves. You know those cheap ones that Chinese people always sell in Jamaica with the black and the white dots. Yeah, yeah, those. And right here is like really sore. And I can just imagine if I were lifting weights over my head, I would be very cautious if it would fall on my head, because your thumb is very important to lifting or to gripping stuff. And if you grip like that with no thumb, you put a great deal of burden on these fingers. And your little finger isn't very strong. In fact, your little finger most times does not even, let's say you're lifting barbells, doesn't really go around the entire barbell. These, in fact, let's say, look at that. That would be about the size of a barbell, no, a hole big enough for a barbell, right? And as you can see, my my fingers, these two fingers aren't even fully closed. And as you can see, these two actually complete the circle. You see, this finger actually locks in these two fingers. Notice that. Now this is me closing it up, but let me open it up back. Ooh, I'm feeling a burn. Oh, there's a little, I didn't even realize there was. It's not really bad. I think maybe I'm just being dramatic. I mean, it does burn, it does hurt, but I mean, you know, I'm always feeling pain. So, but maybe because it was unexpected. Ooh, this burns. I should probably throw some alcohol on it. But and this happened when I had gloves on, right? But as I said, the thumb closes, locks in these two fingers, and oh, my hands are stripping. I think it was just all that wear and tear. Yeah, by Saturday I should be fine. One week is normally enough to recover from these types of things. But these sections are very sore because I was gripping a sledgehammer. Well, multiple sledgehammers. There's one, the smallest of the sledges I held on to because it I was using it because it had a wooden handle, and the transfer of energy when you have to understand, like a hammer head. Say this is the head of the hammer, and my arm is the handle. When you hit something, energy transfers into the hammerhead and goes down into the stick, right? So sometimes if you hit a hammer and you feel a certain pain, it's energy vibrating into the stick, and wood has the best distribution of energy. So I use that smaller one to do most of my demolition work. I tried the medium size hammer, because there was three that were rotating amongst five people. A sixth person would come in every now and again. When I hit the medium size one, all the energy just went in and shook my hand up. It was I think it was probably metal coated in some sort of plastic, but it didn't have a good distribution of energy, and it really rocked my hand. I could feel it in my wrist. Now remember, these are concrete walls I'm demolishing. All right. um I was actually, I had taken on two of the toughest pieces of the walls, which were the supporting columns. And if you know, cements, blocks have holes in it that you'd put cement in. Those columns were basically, um, if they had blocks in them, they were filled out, right? And then some of them were just pieces, like total columns of just cement. So it was just cement. Inside you had um, steel, and interestingly enough, it's one of those older buildings that had corrugated steel. And as I said, older building doesn't mean it wasn't tough to demolish, but it wasn't tough enough to withstand Hurricane Mellissa. So it had those corrugated steels in there, and we had to, when you hit it first, it shatters the face, the rendering, and then solid pieces of steel. And I had to go and hit it again and just keep beating until it would just break apart, you know. And then sometimes we would have to cut the steel with a grinder. But when I was hitting those big pieces, man, I did a couple of rounds with the medium sized one, and it really shook my hand up. But you know what really messed me up? The big one had the it had the worst stick. It had a wooden stick, but it was like the small one that I was using. The stick was like that. It was like that size, and that's why it had such good weight distribution. And when manufacturers are making the actual stick for sledgehammers, they design it in a certain way. Now, the big sledgehammer had a stick that was like that size, and it wasn't a straight stick. Unfortunately, it had a lot sort of curve, and a lot of the curve ended up at the end. So sometimes if you weren't careful and you held it a certain way, it might just spin around and you know hit the wrong part of the concrete. And in fact, a novice would probably get themselves injured, maybe swing and hit themselves. But obviously, I'm not a novice. So, of course, you'd have to hold it a certain way. Now, I would get a better grip, but because it was a thinner stick and it was a heavier hammer, more energy would generate. And when I hit it, that energy would generate into the thinner stick, and it would just really shake my hand up. In fact, you can see where I had my watch on there. Although still, that happens all the time, you know, on a normal day. But just to show you the camera does not do it justice, I will say, because my skin is a lot darker than it's seen in this video, you know. But yeah, it was a crazy day. I think I'm going to do push-ups tonight. It's been Today's what, Monday? It's been just 2 days. Interesting. In my mind, it is it was longer. It was much longer time, but it's just been 2 days. So yeah, my fingers they feel weary. I think maybe at least these three fingers could probably hold their own, but I would be concerned about my thumb. My thumb holding the weights properly. Yeah, and I haven't even consulted my book. My book. So, in fact, just to recap, so I actually sewed in back some of these things that were tearing up, and I put back some reinforcing. Here's some metal plates that are actually in here that is used to protect your joints. And well, these things are really for rollerblading, but I use them for my own thing, for lifting weights. Right, so I worked out on Saturday. Sorry, I smashed walls. I did demolition on Saturday. Am I going? Oh, I'm going in the wrong direction. Okay. Am I going in the wrong direction? Oh, right, here we are. This is the right way. So, so I'm going in the wrong direction. This is annoying. Oh boy, wrong direction. So because the cover is so torn up, so it's kind of hard to keep track. All right, there we are. December 5th. Oh, Friday, December 5th. In my mind, I'm thinking it's way later than the 5th, but today's like, what, the 7th maybe? Or the 8th? So December 5th. Oh, I was supposed to do abs and I didn't. So let's call this rest. It was supposed to be abs, but let's just call it rest because the following day, I wanted to do just abs so I could get enough sleep for the following day. Oh boy. December 6th. And let's call this in case you guys don't know, this is my gym book, all right? But I put stuff in there that's not gym or stuff to keep track of my physical activity. Demolish. I hope I'm spelling this right. Demolition. Who cares? It's only for me. Demolition work. Okay. And then Sunday. Unfortunately, I had planned, and it would have worked if I had just spent less time eating. I planned to go and run a 5 kilometer distance. Oh boy. And didn't work out. So let's just call that rest. And then today is Monday. Should I even put Monday here? This is almost like I'm admitting defeat. Because if I use a small space, it means that I am admitting that I'm not doing a workout. But I'm going to prove this wrong. I'm either going to put abs here or I'm going to put chest and just do flat push-ups only. So it's one of the two. So it's either abs or flat push-ups. If it's abs, I'll just do leg raises. Oh, I'll either just do leg raises or do chest and the flat push-ups. Oh, right. One of the reasons why I was to check the book was to see. So chest was the Tuesday, and so I was wondering whether I should do chest here again or do abs, and then I said okay, let's do abs, and then I was up kind of late prepping for the next day and didn't work out. So yeah, so I need to now decide which one I'm going to do and go do it. because I have my styrofoam things that I use to do my push-ups in here. So let's see, abs or chest, abs or chest, and then abs aren't easy to gain or to maintain. So, and I haven't been doing them consistently. All right, I think I'm just going to do abs. Yeah, need to put abs in there. Um, it's just unfortunate that I'm waiting one entire week because tomorrow is Tuesday, and I'm going to do it on a Tuesday again when I would have rather to do it twice a week. But let's do abs. And I'm going to start with leg raises. Leg raises. And it's going to be 50 times. Alright. And let's say bicycle. Let's do some bicycle as well. Bicycle. 50 times. Oh crap. I thought everything would have held here. Looks like bicycle 6. From what I'm seeing, it looks like I just wrote bicycle 6, but it's bicycle 50 times. Alright. And what was that last one I was thinking? Oh, jumping jacks. Just to burn some calories. Jacks. Not jacks. Jumping jacks. Okay, normally I don't do this. I don't know why I chose not to go on a new sheet, because that's what I should have done. Jumping jacks, 50 times. Yeah, because really there's no such thing as spot reduction, which is okay. If I have fat in my, let's say I have fat in my fingers, I'm just going to work out my fingers, and all the fat in there will be gone. No, you have to just work your entire body, and everywhere will lose fat, including your fingers. Spot reduction is not real. Oh, I got fat fingers, let me exercise my fingers, and all the fat in the rest of my body will remain, and just my fingers will get skinny. No, doesn't work. So that's why jumping jacks are there, to help burn overall calories. All right, that's what I have committed to tonight, and I will go ahead and do it and save these weary fingers. Weary fingers, man. Right here is just so sore, because I was really smashing into some walls, man. Really, even at the top of this finger, I was really smashing into some walls, giving it, like, even when I'm tired, I would just, if I needed 2 minutes to rest, I would just rest for 1 minute and go again, because I wanted the fatigue of the day to just pile on. Mind you, my back, oh, I wish you could hear my back just crick. My back got a good workout as well. It's just that most of the energy that gets transferred from a piece of concrete wall being slammed into by a sledgehammer transfers mostly into your hands, but your back does take a lot of that pressure as well, because it's lifting. And in fact, I would alternate between my left and my right hand. So I would hold the go like that, and then my other hand would go up top, and let's see if I can do this. It's not working, but as I hold down the bottom here, I would hold near the, like, halfway or near the metal piece, and then as my hand goes up, my hand would slide down to give maximum force. I'd use gravity, so I would go like this, have this hand up here, have the next hand down there, and then as it's coming down, slide my hand down, and then bam, maximum force, gravity and the force of both of my hands. And then I'd flip it around and have my hand up here, and then my next hand, my left hand there, and then as my hand goes up and it's about to come down, I slide my hand down and then bam, maximum force again. Smash them, man. Smashed those blocks to smithereens. Like there are some places where like some of the other guys were like smashing blocks and then they were clearing it. I would just stay in one spot and just smash every damn thing. I wouldn't even bother clearing them. I would just be smashing everything to smithereens. And then when I had a huge area of smashed blocks, I would just take out what was there, boom, 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 and throw them down where they should go, and just keep smashing right through. And we did quite a bit of that. Like there was just this thick layer of columns and blocks and concrete, and then we just kept going through until it was all gone, and you could see the tile, and we just moved off everything and swept it off, and it looked pretty decent. Yeah. So Mellissa may have knocked the walls down, but we had to smash them. All right, so abs is the thing for today. I am going to prep myself to do some abs now. Get my yoga mat out. I think I might just sweep this floor a bit before I put the mat out. Get ready, and then even feeling a little bit of fatigue in my triceps, which was good because I was like, yes, this is a good tricep workout. And in fact, this is me not even muscling up. I'm not muscling up. This is just me. No tension. This is just damn. This is kind of flexing. This is not me. This is just normal stuff. Yeah. But I wouldn't mind doing something like that, like once a week, to get my body pushed to its limit. Well, not to its limit, because the sun was sapping my strength somewhat. So um, I know I had a lot more energy than what I expended. But yeah, I think maybe that would be an interesting side hustle. Not that I would need the money. I'll just do it for the health benefits and then yeah, collect some money. It would be like going to the gym and getting paid. Anyway, time to do this. I'm out of here.